There's a moment in almost every first responder's career when you look at the stripes, the bars, or the title above you and think, when I get there, then I'll lead. When I make sergeant, when I get promoted, when I have more experience, when people finally have to listen to me. But here's the truth that cuts through it all. If you're waiting on rank to lead, you've already misunderstood leadership. Because leadership isn't a position, it's a posture. It's not something handed to you by the administration. It's something lived out in the way you show up every single day. On the street, in the firehouse, in the jail, at the dinner table, in your own home. And whether you realize it or not, you're already leading. The question is, what direction are you leading people in?
Welcome to Duty and Discipleship, Faith on the Frontlines, where law enforcement, first responders, and their families talk about the job, the culture, and the battles most people never see, all through the lens of a biblical worldview.
Welcome to Duty and Discipleship, Faith on the Frontlines. I'm Brian. I'm a veteran on my 28th year in law enforcement. Duty and Discipleship is where law enforcement, first responders, and their families come together to navigate the job, the culture, and the realities most people never see, all through the lens of a biblical worldview. You can learn more at battlearmor.org, and I'll place all of our links in our show notes. What is leadership, really? Strip away the buzzwords, forget the corporate seminars, ignore the slogans, and at its core, leadership is simple. Leadership is influence. The ability to shape attitudes, actions, directions of other people around you. You don't need a title to do that. Think about it. Every shift has that one officer everyone watches. Not because they have rank, but because of how they carry themselves, how they talk, how they handle stress, how they treat people, how they show up when things go bad. That's leadership. And the truth is, people are always watching, even when you think they're not. Rookies are watching how you handle pressure. Your partners are watching how you talk about others. Your supervisors are watching how you respond to authority. Your family's watching who you become after the shift ends. Leadership is happening whether you acknowledge it or not. The lie that rank equals leadership. Let's be honest for a minute. Everyone has worked under someone who had rank, but not leadership. They had authority, but no respect. They gave orders, but nobody was inspired. They enforced policy, but they couldn't lead people. And then you also seen the opposite. The officer with no stripes. But when things go sideways, everyone looks to them. Because leadership isn't about being in charge. It's about being someone others trust when it matters. Rank can give you authority, but it cannot give you credibility. That is earned.
Hey, real quick, are you new to Christianity? Or maybe you're just searching for what you really believe? My new book, Christian Basics, Foundations of Faith, will walk you through 12 simple but powerful truths every believer should know. You'll learn who God is, why Jesus came, and how to live with purpose and confidence in your faith. Whether you're just starting your journey or coming back to it, this book will help you build a solid foundation that lasts. Get your copy of Christian Basics today on Amazon and start walking forward in faith.
What makes a great leader? There are a lot of leadership books out there, but for first responders, especially for Christian men and women in those roles, leadership has to go deeper than tactics. And here are the marks of the great leader on the front lines. Number one, consistency when no one is watching. Anyone can look squared away when the command staff is around. Real leaders are the same person, on day shift and night shift, in public and in private, when praised and when criticized. Consistency builds trust. And trust is the currency of leadership. If people don't know who they're going to get from you, they won't follow you. Number two, calm in the chaos. When everything goes bad, people look for stability. A great leader doesn't add to the chaos. They bring clarity. They slow things down. They make decisions. They communicate clearly. They don't panic even when they feel the pressure. This doesn't mean they're fearless. It just means they're anchored. Number three, humility without weakness. Humility is often misunderstood. It's not being passive. It's not being soft. It's not lacking confidence. Humility is strength under control. It's the ability to admit when you're wrong. Listen to others. Give credit away. Take responsibility when things go bad. A humble leader is secure enough not to make everything about themselves, And that kind of leader is rare. Number 4, willingness to do the hard things. Great leaders don't avoid hard conversations. They don't ignore problems. They don't pass off responsibility. They step into difficult situations because they know avoidance creates a bigger problem. Whether it's correcting a teammate, making a tough call, standing up for what's right, leadership requires courage. Number 5, they make others better. This might be the most important one. A real leader doesn't just perform well. They raise the level of everyone around them. They mentor, they teach, they encourage, they correct when needed, they invest in people. Because leadership isn't about being the best in a room. It's about helping others grow. And here's another common phrase you normally hear. Leaders eat last. And why does that matter? The concept that's been talked about a lot in leadership circles. Leaders eat last. It's simple. It's even symbolic, but it carries a powerful truth. In practical terms, it means a leader puts the needs of others before their own. In a first responder context, this might look like making sure your team is taken care of before you are, taking the worst call so younger officers don't have to, staying late so someone else can go home early to their family, stepping into danger first, not pushing others ahead. It's not about being a martyr. It's about responsibility. As Christians, this principle goes even deeper because we don't just follow leadership theory. We follow Christ. And Jesus molded this perfectly. He didn't come to be served. He came to serve. He washed feet. He sacrificed himself. He laid down his life for others. This is the ultimate picture of leadership. So when they say leaders eat last, what they're really saying is leaders serve first. And in a profession built on service, that should define everything. Leading on the front lines as a Christian. Being a Christian in law enforcement or emergency response isn't always easy. The culture could be cynical. The job could be dark. The pressure can be intense. But that's exactly why leadership matters. Because you might be the only example of Christ someone sees on that shift. Not through preaching, but through presence. Through how you treat difficult people, handle stress, speak about others, respond to authority, carry yourself in the chaos. You don't need to quote scripture on every call, but people will notice there's something different about you, and that's leadership. Leading your family, that's your first assignment. Here's something that often gets out of order. We focus on leading at work, but neglect leading at home. You can be respected on the job and disconnected in your own house. But biblical leadership starts at home. As a husband and father, you're called to lead as provider. Yes, you work. Yes, you provide financially. But provision goes beyond a paycheck. You provide stability, security, consistency. Your family should feel Dad's got us. Number 2, protector. Not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. You guard what comes into your home. You protect your family from unnecessary harm, toxic influences, spiritual drift. You set the tone. And number 3, priest. This is where many men struggle. Leading spiritually doesn't mean being perfect. It means being intentional. It means praying with your family, talking about faith, setting the spiritual example. You don't need a seminary degree. You just need to lead, because if you don't, something else will. The danger of neglecting home leadership. This job will take everything you give it, if you let it. Overtime, extra shifts, mental energy, emotional bandwidth, and if you're not careful, your family gets what's left over, which is often fatigue, irritability, disconnection. But here's the reality. No rank, no title, no career achievement will replace a broken home. Leadership means making hard decisions about priorities. It means sometimes saying no to work so you could say yes to what matters most. Authentic leadership. Be real, not perfect. People don't follow perfection. They follow authenticity. They follow someone who is real, honest, consistent. You don't have to have everything figured out. You don't have to pretend you're never affected by the job. In fact, the opposite is true. When you're honest about struggles, but grounded in faith, people respect that because it's real. Authentic leadership says, I don't have to have it all together, but I know where I'm anchored. Leadership in the small moments. Leadership isn't just big calls. It's the small daily moments. The way you talk in the locker room, the way you treat dispatch, the way you handle frustration, the way you speak about your family, the way you respond when things don't go your way. Those moments shape your influence more than anything else because leadership is built over time, over one interaction at a time. When you feel unqualified, there will be moments you feel like, I'm not the right person to lead. I don't have enough experience. I've made too many mistakes. But here's the truth. Leadership isn't about perfection. It's about responsibility and growth. Some of the best leaders are people who learned from failure, stayed teachable, kept showing up. You don't have to be the most experienced. You just have to be intentional. Final thought, start where you are. You don't need a promotion, a title, permission to lead. You need character, consistency, and courage. Leadership starts right where you are, on the next shift, in your next conversation, at the dinner table at night, because people are already watching, your coworkers, your family, your community. And the question isn't, are you a leader? The question is, what kind of leader are you becoming? And here's a simple challenge for this week. Encourage someone on your shift. Take responsibility where others avoid it. Be present at home. Lead spiritually, even if it feels awkward. Put someone else first, not because you have to, but because that's what leaders do. And not just any leaders, servant leaders. The kind that don't just carry authority, but carry influence that actually matters. Because in the end, the best leaders don't just change outcomes on calls, they change lives. And you don't need rank to do that. Hey, thanks for being part of Duty and Discipleship. If this episode encouraged you, share it with another first responder who might need to hear it today. If you're listening on the podcast, subscribe and leave a comment. If you're watching on YouTube, hit subscribe and give it a thumbs up so this message can reach more men and women serving on the front lines. And remember this, the world may only see the badge, the uniform, or the job, but God sees the heart of someone trying to serve Him in the middle of it all. Stay safe, stay faithful. I'll see you in our next episode.